This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.
The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has intensified efforts to launch a single currency in 2027 following its 66th ordinary session held in Abuja. The currency, the ECO, is being pushed as a means to lower trade costs across the region by eliminating the problems posed by the conduction of transactions between different countries using different national currencies. Joining the conversation this morning is economist Mukhtar Mohammed. Good morning, sir, and thank you for joining us on the conversation.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. The ECO, in and of itself, would sort of turn ECOWAS into the situation we have in Europe, where the euro is the major means of transaction, or is the single currency that's in use there. What sort of benefits does this bring directly to the region, looking at the situation that we have with trade at the moment?
Well, first and foremost, it's a good idea. In terms of benefit, you just like you just said, easy trade between countries of Africa and ECOWAS region. Also, maybe it puts that trigger in trade between most ECOWAS countries. So for now, I don't think we do most trading within ourselves. So that's my challenge when every time they talk about thinking the eco currency, because like you said in your introduction, when you talk about European nations, you need to look at the volume of trade within themselves, either in terms of human capital, either in terms of transportation, either in terms of the trade and other business infrastructure. For me, it has always been a white elephant project, and I still think 2027 is too soon for us to begin to look at that. Remember, we still have the Anglophone, Francophone rivalry there. CFA, they want to use their CFA, they don't want to be part of the eco currency. So there's a lot of issues. I think what we should do as ECOWAS is first of all see how much volume of trade we will do within ourselves, because we do more volume of trade with the Europeans, with the Americans and other, with the Chinese than within Africa. Look at the volume of trade between our neighbors, between Nigeria and Benin or Nigeria and Ghana. You see, it's nothing to write home about. So getting an ECOWAS currency for the sake of trade, for me, it's still a white elephant project. This has been a project that has been going on for years.
So, Mr. Mohammed, let me ask you this. I think this was under the Buhari administration at the time when the Francophone-speaking countries had essentially initiated this process. And there was a lot of talk that this was being influenced by France at the time. Nigeria raised an alarm saying that we were not going to do this until everybody was ready. So let's talk about Nigeria in particular. Our economy is still the biggest in the region. Are there more advantages for us, or are the advantages greater for the other countries within the region if and when we adopt this currency?
Well, ordinarily, the advantages should be for us. Because of our population, you talk we are the biggest economy in the West African region. We are one of the, in terms of trade volume within West African region, we have more trade volume with even other nations. Outside the West Africa and even outside Africa. That should give us an advantage. But now you need to look at the cost of production. When you look at some of these smaller countries, their cost of production in terms of their goods are cheaper when they bring it there. So we will be struggling because our cost of production will be very, very high. So definitely the other countries will benefit unless we are able to bring down in terms of cost of production, which have to do with building up infrastructure, solar power infrastructure, then the financial sector to be able to get lower cheap loans compared to what we get in those other African countries, West African countries, where their loans are not as being interested as high as what we pay in Nigeria. Look at inflation. Inflation in Ghana is already down. Inflation here is high. So that means our cost is high. So it's supposed to be an advantage, but it might be a disadvantage. And that's why you remember that was the reason why Nigeria refused to sign the African Continental Trade Agreement, because it means our country will be a dumping ground for a lot of African countries' product. And we have the market, but again, our own product will have difficulty even exporting our own product to other African nations because of the high cost in terms
Right.
of what it is for our own product.
So I'm glad you've mentioned the free trade area, because that's another conversation. If the sub-region wants to adopt a unified currency, how does that play out in an Africa where a few years from now we're hoping to have a stronger free trade area with improved relations across all 50 plus countries of the continent? Is it wise to go ahead with the idea, or should we wait and just see how the free trade area develops?
I think it's wise for us to go with the idea. Maybe you are in the planning stage of the idea while you watch how the free trade era develops. You can't just keep your own idea and say, okay, let's watch what is happening in the free trade area. It might not just go in as the same. Sometimes, again, your competitors, knowing that they're also planning something, can also help in bringing down whatever they are trying to do. They may make some check and balance for you. So definitely, yes. But my challenge still remains that we've not had that infrastructure for a free trade. If East Africa wants to be a free trade now, we don't have that infrastructure. And let me give you an example. It's not easy to even get the flight from Nigeria to even Benin Republic. It's a challenge. So those infrastructures are not there. So we are talking about free trade. We are talking about the road network. For over 10 years now, we have been trying to map the road network from Badagry to Lome, Togo. We have not been able to do that. So if you want to do it, you need to look at your transport system. You don't want to be lifting goods with trucks. You want to be lifting goods through railway and then through cargo plane. And how many cargo planes? How many cargo planes land in Nigeria? And how many cargo planes are taking goods from Nigeria to Sierra Leone or to Liberia? And I'm just talking about the West African sub-region. So there's a lot to be done. So why talking about 2027 we want to have a single currency? We need to see how much infrastructure we can build and how much trade can we do within ourselves, even within the African trade zone that we are trying to free trade zone that we are trying to create. How many business do we do within ourselves as African nations? So that, for me, is the major thing they need to be looking at, how much business. Why did Europe get to a single currency? It's because of the volume of business within themselves. They now said, okay, for ease of doing business, for ease of movement, for ease of human resources, capital, and so we need to come in for a single currency. That's because they do a lot of business within themselves. So we are not doing so much of business within ourselves. So a single currency, for me, is a mirage.
All right. Mr. Mohammed, thank you so much for joining us on the conversation this morning. Mukhtar Mohammed is an economist, and he joined us to speak on the Economic Community of West African States intensifying its efforts to launch a single currency, the ECO, in 2024.
This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.